316, how's everybody doing today? That's good to hear. I'm so excited that you guys are here. If you're a first-time comer with us, thank you so much for being with us. You truly bless us. I think you picked an awesome Sunday to be with us. And if this is your first time with us, I want to ask you just one simple little favor. If you would, on your way out by the double doors, there's going to be a table right there, and you'll find Mike, good-looking guy, you can't miss him, or Cindy, lovely lady, and fill out what we call a connection card. Let us know it's your first time here. And I just want to be rest assured that we're not going to sell your information. We're not going to give it away to anybody. It's just that I'm going to write you a little note saying thank you so much for joining us here today. And believe it or not, I'm using the mailing system, so I kind of need your address for that. So if you can do that for me, I would truly appreciate it. You know, as I was sitting here and I was writing my message, I started thinking about my own faith walk and thinking, you know, my walk with Christ hasn't been an easy one. And if anybody's gone to you and say, hey, once you accept Jesus Christ in your life, do you know what? It's all going to be rainbows and unicorns. Yeah. No, that's not what really happens, because what happens? Life, right? Life gets in the way. It brings you down. And so it's not all rainbows and unicorns. There's plenty of bumps and trips on the walk of your faith. But when we think about it, is it worth it? Oh, yeah. It's so worth the walk. And so when I started this relationship with Jesus Christ, I found that I was actually in a dark place in my life. And what happens when light meets darkness? The darkness actually runs and it hides. But without this light in your life, darkness will always hold and have a grip and everything that you do. In fact, that's my bottom line for you today. If you get nothing else out of this message, if you decide I'm going to take a nap as he talks, I want you to get this, because it follows the thought process we had last week that growth without purpose is pointless. So this follows along with that. So the bottom line for today is this: to be the light, you must have the light. To be the light, you must have the light. I remember when Tori, my daughter, she was 4 years old, and Nicholas, my son, he was about 3. My wife, Jennifer, put him in kindercare. We were stationed in Washington State. And I remember this one day, Tori came up to me so excited, saying, Dad, I learned this song at school, and I want to share it with you. And me, being about Papa, my little baby girl, comes up to me saying she wants to share a song with me. I'm like, go, baby girl, sing that song. And this is the song she sang me. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take that sunshine away. And now I'm a short, big, fat guy, right? So I'm holding back tears like, and I'm so proud of her. And the following year, Nick comes up to me. He's so excited. He's like, Dad, I learned this song in school, and I want to sing it to you. And I was like, too late, son. Your sister already sang that song, so go learn a new song and then come back to me. No, I did not say that. What I said was, Nick, go ahead. Let me hear you, buddy. Let me hear you sing the song. And he looks up at me and goes, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take this sunshine away. And I challenge any parent to hear their kids sing that to them and not tear up and want to cry like little babies. And I think back to that time, and I truly believe God was trying to show me this beautiful light, but I decided in my total wisdom that I'm going to follow my dark path. So we're coming into our second week of this series called I Am, and we're taking a look at 3 of the 7 statements where Jesus says, I am. And last week, we talked where Jesus said, I am the vine. So if you missed that one, I want to encourage you to go to our Area 316 YouTube site and go ahead and click on it and just catch up, or go ahead and refresh, or you can go to our mobile app, Area 316 Church mobile app, bring it up on there, and you can catch up and you're all good to go. You can take the church wherever you go. So this week, I truly believe we're going to look at such a powerful statement of the I am statement, that if you're here for the first time and you're trying to figure out this whole God thing, or you're here saying, okay, God, I'm going to give you this one last shot, I truly believe this message is for you today. That if you just open your heart just a tiny crack and let this light come into your life, things are going to change for you. Or if you're here today and you're a Christ follower, but what happens? Life gets in the way, right? And so this darkness starts to overcome your world, your life. I truly believe this message is for you also. That today, this light would come back into your own life. So if you have your Bibles, would you please turn to the book of John? Because remember, we said this whole 3-week series, we're pretty much going to stay in this book. And we're going to go to chapter 8, and we're going to start in verse 12. If you don't have a Bible, no worries, we're going to throw the scriptures on the screen for you so you can read along with us. If you don't have a Bible and you've been wanting your own Bible, see us after service and we love to give you your own Bible. So let me set this whole story up for you so you know what we're talking about today. We see Jesus just as he puts the Pharisees and some of the religious leaders in their place, because they're trying to set up Jesus in this story where they bring a woman who was caught in adultery. And so it's kind of funny that they only bring the woman and not the man. Well, that's another story for another time, so let's just put that to the shelf. So can you imagine all the people that were left right there just staring at Jesus because they're in complete shock? One, because they didn't get to stone anybody. And two, it's because Jesus kind of put these Pharisees and religious leaders in their place. So here we find Jesus talking to the crowd that was left behind. So John 8, 12, and 19 says this: when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. The Pharisees challenged him. This guy came late. This guy missed everything. And of course, he's doing what? He's going to challenge Jesus. So we hear him say this: here you are appearing as your own witness. Your testimony is not valid. Jesus answered, even if I testify on my own behalf, my testimony is valid, for I know where I come from and where I'm going. But you have no idea where I come from or where I'm going. You judge by human standards. I pass judgment on no one. And we just saw in the story before this, he didn't pass judgment on the adulterous woman. But if I do judge, my decisions are true because I am not alone. I stand with my Father who sent me. In your law, it is written that the testimony of 2 witnesses is true. I am one who testifies for himself. My other witness is the Father who sent me. Then they asked him, where is your Father? You do not know my Father or know me, Jesus replied. If you knew me, you would know my Father also. And I love it because Jesus started this whole statement by saying, I am the light. In the story before, we see the adulteress, right, that was there. Can you imagine the darkest place she was at? She was in the dark zone right now. All these people were looking at this lady. They're all crowding around her. And you have to know she's thinking, I'm going to die today. At this moment, I'm going to die. And I have to believe that this lady, her fight or flight kicked in, thinking, okay, I'm going to fight my way out of this somehow. And she's probably thinking of all these excuses she can come up with so she can get out of the dilemma she's in. I know that because I did that same thing. I was thinking, how do I get out of where I'm at? Oh, got it. I'm going to blame everybody. And so that's what I did. I started blaming everyone because I wanted to be safe, right? So that's what I did. My lies. They were piling on each other, so they became bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they were going to come to a head, but I was thinking forefront going, how am I going to get out of this? Oh, I know. I'll blame everybody, and I'll get through this unscathed. I mean, I blame the Navy. I blamed my own wife. I blame my kids. I blame the fact that I didn't have money. I blame the fact that I was doing drugs. I was drinking. I blame that. I even blame God for the things. You see, I was going to get out of this nice and safe. So everybody, guess what? It's your fault that this happened. And that's what darkness does. It seeks a way out of any kind of problem so it can stay hidden and stay dark. But what happens when darkness comes in contact with light? Darkness runs. And so everything starts to change. And here's the thing about being exposed to the light. Exposure to light will change the conduct of your life. Exposure to the light will change the conduct of your life. The light, this everlasting light, will change the way you live and do things forever. In fact, here's my first point for you today. The light will fuel your life. The light will fuel your life. It's simple. When it's dark, we don't have any energy, do we? We just want to jump in bed, turn on the TV, watch some ESPN, watch some Snap, right? Until we fall asleep. And what happens in the dark? It gets kind of scary, doesn't it? It gets scary. You've never heard of a ghost story happening during the day, have you? No. Everybody goes to the haunted house at nighttime in the darkness. But here's the thing. If I go to a haunted house, it's going to be during the day with all the lights on. I'm just saying. But what happens when day comes? What happens when the light starts shining through your window? You get up, right? You start moving. Well, I start moving after I have my first cup of coffee. I don't know about you guys, but that's when I start moving. But here's the thing. The light, it fuels your life. It gives you the energy you need to start moving. And right off the bat, we read in verse 12, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. And let's think about that, shall we, for a minute? What is he really trying to say? Is he trying to say we should go in a certain direction, or is he trying to say we should live it a certain way? Well, Jesus said this in John 10:10. I read this quite a bit because I think it's such an important passage that we should just ingrain it in our minds. And it says this, the thief comes to steal and kill and destroy. I've come that you may have life and have it to the full. That first part is talking about pure darkness, because that's what darkness wants to do. It wants to keep you from the light. It wants to steal the joy the light is going to try to give you. It's going to give you. It kills the light from the life that it wants you to live. It destroys everything this life wants to give you. It wants to keep you in the darkness. But here's Jesus. And Jesus says, I'm the light. I have come so you may have life and have it to the fullest. It doesn't say a little bit of life, but to the fullest. So if that's true, then this is true. Jesus is not talking about direction you should go. Jesus is talking about a life you should live. He's not talking about the direction you should go, but Jesus is talking about a life you should live. I don't know about you guys, but I have a life verse that I look to when darkness tries to creep into my life. And if you don't have a life verse, and all it is a verse in the Bible that you hone into, and it brings light to your life. So my life verse is this, Psalm 27:1. And it says this, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is my stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? William Berkeley says this about the light. It says, just as a flower can never blossom when it never sees the sunlight, so our lives can never flower with the grace and beauty they ought to have until they are irradiated with the light of the presence of Jesus. Isaiah 60:19 says this, The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you, for the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory. To be the light, you have to have the light. And my second point for you has to deal with darkness. And it's this: the darkness will conceal your life. The darkness will conceal your life. It concealed my life since I was in the military. See, because I believe I could do whatever I wanted, and I didn't have to answer to anyone. I was going to live my life the way I wanted to live. But that's what darkness does, doesn't it? It shows you, hey, this is how it's all about you. And it keeps you in a certain position. It keeps you there. And there's one point in your own lives that you have to get tired of this darkness. I know I did. And the thing was, I tried and tried and tried to get out of this darkness, but I continuously failed. Have you been there? Are you there now? Psalm 107:10 says this: some sat in darkness, in utter darkness, prisoners suffering in their iron chains. That was me. I was in utter darkness. I was a prisoner suffering in iron chains. And you know what? You know who enjoyed it the whole time? The devil. The devil enjoyed every minute that I was in utter darkness. He enjoyed that I was in chains as a prisoner. In fact, that's what he loves and that's what he does. He tries to keep as many people from the light in total darkness because that's what he does. And that's what he wants to continue to do, to keep you in utter darkness, in chains like a prisoner. Ecclesiastes 5:17 says this: all their days they ate in darkness, with great frustration, affliction, and anger. That was me to a T. I was always in great frustration. I mean, I wasn't getting promoted in the Navy. My wife, she was getting promoted and making money like crazy, left and right. Man, and I'm thinking, I'm the man of this family. I should be getting promoted. I should be making all the money. And here's the thing, my wife, she put the children in front of me. And I was thinking to myself, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where do I fit in this picture then? I'm the man of this family. I'm the head of the household. What do you think you're doing? You see, I was always very angry. In fact, I went from 0 to ticked off in 0.05 seconds. Very fast. You can go ask my wife. She'll tell you like that. But am I just talking about myself, or are you there? Or have you been there before in your life? With this darkness always concealing you, because that's what darkness does. It keeps you in this one place, not letting you go. It conceals your life. I remember when I was out to sea, I always loved telling my testimony because I want you to see where I was and where God has taken me. This darkness, when I was in my darkest time, God came and said, okay, it's time. It's time for you to choose death, which is pure darkness, or life, which is pure light. And that was the day I opened my heart just a tiny bit to let this light come into my life. Was I scared? Oh, yeah. When this light hit my heart, did it hurt? Oh, yeah. Did I start to heal? Oh, yeah. Because God was there with me. Psalm 119, 105 says this: your word is my lamp for my feet, a light on my path. Listen, I know some of you are out there thinking, yeah, but Pastor Juan, yay, great story. That was you. Yay, I'm glad for you. See what God did in your life. Yay. But you know what? That's not me. You don't understand what I've done in my life. You don't understand. There's no way God would want me back after everything I've done. There's just no way. You just don't get it, Pastor Juan. And you know what? You're right. I don't get it. And here's the thing I want you to know, if you're saying that right now, is that when I talk to other Christ followers about what they've been through and what they've gone through, they say the same thing. There was no way, Juan, that God would want me back in his life. There's no way he would take me. There's no way he's going to give me this life, Juan, because you know what? I was a drug dealer. I was a druggie. I was an alcoholic. I watched too much porn. I cheated on my wife or my husband. Hey, I ate too much food. Hey, I lied. I cheated. I was mentally and physically abused to somebody. Somebody physically and mentally abused me. I'm a liar. I've killed. I've gone to jail. The list goes on and on and on. So if that's you, I want you to listen to this testimony about someone who killed women, who killed men, grandparents, grandfathers. He drank. He was a stealer. He was a womanizer. This guy was pretty much a bad guy all the way around. And we read in the book of Acts 26, 15 and 18, it says this, "Then I asked, 'Who are you, Lord?' 'I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting,' the Lord replied. 'Now get up and stand on your feet. For I have appeared to you to appoint you as a servant.'" Say what? "And as a witness of what you have seen and will see of me. I will rescue you from your own people from the Gentiles. I am sending you to them to open their eyes and turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so they may receive forgiveness of sins and place among them who are sanctified by faith in me." If Jesus can come to this guy, who, by the way, is Paul, one of the pillars of faith, who was persecuting people for believing in Jesus. And then he came and appointed Paul a servant and a witness to Christ. What makes you think that Jesus wouldn't use you exactly where you are in your own life? In your darkness, there's a light, and all you have to do is just open it just a tiny little bit for him. That's all he needs. John 1, 9, 10 says this, "The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. He was in the world, and though the world was made through him, the world did not recognize him." To be the light, you have to have the light. Now, if you follow me on Facebook, I ask you all, please bring your cell phone. So if you have your cell phone, please take them out at this time. What? The pastor wants me to take out my cell phone? Yes, the pastor wants you to take out your cell phone. Well, why do you want me to do that? Well, why don't you follow directions and wait, and I'll tell you why we're going to do this. So please, take out your cell phones for me. There's no need to conversate, Mike. I hear you all the way up here. So, you brought your cell phone? Okay. Okay. Oh, I wish you did too. But get your mom or your dad's, and so have it ready. Okay, everybody has their cell phone out? Awesome. In the beginning, there was darkness, and it covered the whole world. Then God said, "Let there be light." Then he created the heavens and the earth and everything in it, including man and woman. Then sin entered the world and darkness came back. And separated us from God. Till one day, in a little town called Bethlehem. The light became man. I don't know where you are in your life right now. I don't know what's happening in your life right now, but I don't want you to miss this chance to receive this light into your own life. And if you're there sitting there's no way God wants me. There's no way, Pastor Juan, you just don't understand what I've done in my life. 1 Peter 2:9 says this, but you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. You're God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who have called you out of darkness and into his wonderful light. Don't miss this chance to accept this light into your own life. Don't miss this chance to just open your heart a little bit and receive this light. Is it going to hurt? Oh, yeah, it's going to hurt. Are you going to start to heal? Oh, yes. Is your life going to change? It's going to change forever. And if that's you here today, and if you're giving God that one last chance, if you're here trying to figure out this whole God thing, then receive this light. Guess what? It's free of charge. And if that's you, I want you to turn on the light of your phone and receive this light. And don't be afraid. If you're here today and you call yourself a Christ follower and you fell into darkness, it's okay, because God has been there the whole time with his arms wide open. And all you have to do is turn around in the darkness and know you can walk into his loving arms. So if that's you today, I want you to turn on the light on your phone right now and accept and rededicate your life to Jesus Christ right now. You don't have to be ashamed. And if you're here right now and you call yourself a Christ follower, don't be ashamed. And I want you to turn on your cell phone on right now and shine his light. Don't be ashamed. Go ahead and turn it on and shine bright. And if you're still there wondering, man, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if he wants me. I just want you to turn around and I want you to see what light does. It turns away darkness. This light, this holy light, let me tell you about it. It became man. This light lived for 33 years. This light was betrayed by his best friend. This light was taken in front of Pontius Pilate. This light was beaten to a pulp, was placed a crown of thorns on his sinless head. This light carried a cross upon Calvary. This light lay and put his hands and his feet and took the nails for you and for me. This light was surrounded by darkness in the grave. And guess what this light did? It pierced through the grave. Death no longer holds us down, but we shine bright for this light. So if you have your phones, shine it bright and watch what happens. Darkness goes away. This light has a name, and this light's name is Jesus. It's Jesus. You don't have to be afraid of the dark anymore because of this wonderful light. Because of Jesus, who said, I am the light. And he's passed it on to you. And now you've become the light of the world. So don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid of this wonderful light. Because we serve a mighty God who loved you so much to send this light for you and I. He is so, so mighty to save. So we remember what Jesus said. He said, I am the light. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you and we say thank you so much for this beautiful, beautiful light that you've given us. Thank you, dear Lord, that right now we shine bright for you.